Speaking of more football, speaking of great football, why we love football, the NFL, the big league, the big guys, all these top dollar guys, all these top end athletes, premier cream of the crop, and they show us just why. The NFL last week was entertaining. It was amazing. I loved it. We had a couple great games. Everything was falling in line. I mean, we had guys like Drake May making their debut. We interviewed J.J. Jones, obviously, this summer, and he was talking about his guy and Drake May, how he's like his best friend. Just roll the clip.
And then playing with Drake. I mean, I thought he was the best quarterback in the country last year and the year before that. But, he's also one of my best friends now. And for learning from him, he was more of a player of the game. He understood how to play the game. He was an absolute baller on the field.
Yeah. I mean, when JJ talks highly about his guy like that, and when you love your quarterback like that, you have that relationship, you know this guy's legit. And we saw it. He came out here, he put on a show. His debut, his rookie debut, it was week 6. He did what? 283 yards, 3 touchdowns to 2 interceptions. To come out and even as a rookie quarterback in your debut, to come out and have a positive touchdown to interception ratio is a good feat. Not only that, he amassed 283 yards, 3 touchdowns to 2 interceptions. He had a killer debut. Doesn't matter if they lost that game or not to a talented Houston Texans team, a defense that's ranked about 4th when it comes to grades in the NFL. They came out and they played a game. I mean, they showed why these Patriots are very excited to have their guy in Drake May. Not to mention, you also have Jacoby Brissett, who struggled, obviously, mentoring your guy in Drake May. And then a step behind in the room as well, you have a Joe Milton who started at Tennessee last year, one of the biggest arms in the NFL, biggest arm in that draft class, chucking it down the field at 70 yards like at ease, like it was nothing. Just absolutely insane to watch. That's a quarterback room that has a ton of potential, and it's flying under the radar a little bit. Drake May, when he's your true starter, your true QB1, I think we're starting to see that ship sort of sail starting now, especially after that performance last week. You're excited. As a Patriots fan, you're very ecstatic. You want to see what's in store for your team, what's in store for your guy in particular. And I have a feeling this Christmas we're going to see a lot of Drake May jerseys sort of fly off the shelf for those 5 Patriots fans that are out there somewhere in the world. Obviously, fins up, can't stand the Pats, but this hurts my soul to really say, to give Drake May his flowers. It does. But I love football at the same time, so it doesn't hurt my soul. And it's JJ's guy, honestly. So I'm going to roll with him. I have nothing but love for Drake May and those Patriots. I hope they find nothing but success, except when they run into the Dolphins on Sundays. But it's scary. It looks very, very good. The product that Drake May put on the field is a product that I wholeheartedly believe Gerard Mayo, Robert Kraft, and all that whole organization and the guys are ready to roll with. And Drake May is their guy, undoubtedly. It's 1 week. It's 1 week. I've seen Pats fans on TikTok going crazy saying put him in the Hall of Fame, everything like this. They're ready. They are very excited about Drake May. It's 1 week, but he came out and he put on a show. He proved why he was taken at that number 3 spot. And speaking of top 3, all 3 of those quarterbacks were balling last week. Caleb Williams in London. I don't know if going to London has a certain effect on this man or something. He goes out, not too crazy in the yards column, but the passing touchdowns, 5 touchdowns to 0 interceptions. Are you serious, Caleb Williams? We know he's been one of the most sacked quarterbacks in the league to start off this season. He was just able to get it done against the Jaguars defense, dicing them up all day. 5 pass touchdowns, 0 interceptions. He was clean to the ground, too. This Bears team was just rolling, looked like they could not be stopped, and there was just no answer from the Jaguars. The Bears were moving the ball at ease. They were scoring, going up and down the field. It was fun to watch. And as for Bears fans that have been tormented by bad quarterback play for centuries, I mean, they've been a team for over a century. So centuries, you can say centuries. They're sitting here. They're watching Caleb Williams, and they have a grin on their face. They're excited. They're ready to see what he can come out and do for this organization in the long haul, where they can take him, the new heights they can go. Get it, talking about like Arlington Heights and everything like this. But Caleb Williams, have yourself a day. You just proved why everyone dubbed you a generational quarterback, a generational talent coming out of college. you put on an absolute clinic against the Jaguars in pretty much their home stadium in London. The Jaguars play the most out of anyone in London. They're staying this week for another matchup in London. So you just go out there pretty much in an away game and just give it to the Jaguars. You didn't even let them stay in that game. You didn't let it be close. Caleb Williams did everything he needed to. Found Cole Kmet twice. Found Keenan Allen twice. It was just insane. You were going out there. You were spreading the field. You were making plays with your eyes, with your legs, with your arm. You were doing what you needed to do to get it done. You look like that true QB1 of that draft class coming out and getting it done. You played an absolute stellar game. And now there's a ton of praise all over the NFL. People are really starting to realize why you were so sought after, why you were so talked about, why all of these things fell into the way it did during the recruiting process, during the draft, during the combine, during pro day. All of these things, you're showing why you were that guy. It's fun to watch, honestly. Caleb Williams, you went out and you really made a statement for yourself. You had a statement game. You said, hey, a lot of you guys said this wouldn't translate to the NFL. I just went out and did this to an NFL defense. I just went out and put 5 touchdowns on an NFL defense. I just went out and ransacked a Jaguars defense that was not ready to see me. They were not ready to play me, and they didn't play me. I was running around like it was recess out there playing on this Jaguars defense, and I played a heck of a game. And now I have my Bears sitting at 4-2. But guess what? In the NFC North, 4-2 has you in last place. That's a whole nother thing. The NFC North is straight balling with the Vikings bye week 5-0. Lions 4-1, big win. Packers 4-2, coming off a loss. It's just, what? You're 4-2 sitting in the bottom of the division. How? It's just insane. But again, Caleb Williams came out and had himself a great day. 5 passing touchdowns, no interceptions, had some yards, had some movement with his legs. Beautiful. And then the second quarterback taken in that draft class, Jaden Daniels, played it close against Lamar Jackson, a guy that he plays much alike, very similar player type attributes there. He keeps it close. It's a 7-point game. They lose 30-23 in M&T Bank Stadium in Baltimore. Not a huge rivalry game necessarily with rankings and divisions and all this, but proximity, geography, it is a big rivalry game. They're like less than what they say, 100 miles, 30 miles away from each other. I know that's a big difference, but one of the two, you come out and you almost knock off a 2-time MVP in Lamar Jackson, your rookie game, your 6th game of your career. All these guys are balling right now. All these quarterbacks. Even Bo Nix is out there balling right now. He held that Chargers game close with Jim Harbaugh, who should be on IR or something, I guess. But Bo Nix came out and he played the game. He's been making some statements as well. We know he can get it done with his legs. His arm is looking pretty decent out there as well. These quarterbacks are starting to translate. And I just really like what I'm seeing out of these guys. I mean, they look very, very good. And it's just exciting. I believe there's so much talent nowadays in the NFL, in college football as well, in high school. These guys are just, the next generation just keeps stepping up, gets a little stronger, a little bigger, a little more explosive, and all of a sudden you start to see crazy talent, even more crazy talent, even more crazy talent. So it's like you just get loaded at every single position. Everyone's starting to become good. We've seen a new age where there's 17-year-olds all over the place in college football. UCF started a 17-year-old quarterback this weekend. Ryan Williams has been tearing it up. I don't even want to get into that because you guys have probably heard too much about Ryan Williams and how he is 17. Just in case you guys didn't know, Ryan Williams is 17. You probably didn't know that, but you have Jeremiah Smith, a freshman receiver out there for Ohio State, tearing it up, scoring a touchdown every single game consistently this season. You just have so many guys with so much talent at such a young age stacking all across the country. And it's just going to keep growing and keep getting more populated and more dense and more talent. It's insane. Truly. This next generation, these next couple generations of football, all of this are going to be so fun to cover, so fun to watch, and so chaotic, so hectic, so filled with talent. I believe truly much more than there has been in previous years. I'm just excited to watch it all play out as a fan. I'm excited to see all this go down, and I'm excited to see what this next couple generations of football is going to look like. But with that being said, this last week of football for me has just proved that these quarterbacks are coming in, they're translating, they're playing very, very well, and they're adapting fast. They're learning. They might not be step up NFL Super Bowl, caliber ready or anything yet, but they are coming out and they're showing, hey, we can win football games, we can get it done, we can translate, we know what we are, we know who we are, we know how to use our talents, our strengths, and we love to win football games. We're true fire competitors. We're here to stay, and we are the future of these franchises. We are the faces of the we are the faces of the franchise for all of these teams, for all of these guys, and we're here to stay for the long haul. So all of these guys, Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, Drake May, Bo Nix, I'll give all of you guys your flowers. You came out, you balled, you put on a performance, and you're going to be very, very fun to watch for the next couple of generations. But now with that being said, let's get into these matchups. Next week, I have 7 picked out for you to watch, keep your eye on, in matchups that I believe are going to be truly just fun to watch, interesting, nice storylines, whatever. And starting off with the Thursday night game, Denver, New Orleans. This is a game I think is very interesting for a couple reasons. I believe Bo Nix has a chance to come out and make a statement game for himself. He's on primetime. Broncos haven't had a primetime game this season. Everyone's going to get to watch. He has a big chance to showcase his ability, showcase who he is, showcase his talents to the national media, to everybody. Against New Orleans, a team that started off hot. They've had their struggles. They dropped to 2-4 after starting off 2-0. Just disappointing there for Dennis Allen and his Saints. I know they're going to want to find that spark again and just go out and win some more football games. They haven't been able to close out games, have not been able to win since week 2, and it's been hard to watch. They started out super strong, came out of the gate firing. This is 2 teams that have stuff to lose. They have stuff to prove as well, and they're going to do just that in a primetime matchup. Bo Nix statement game. Derek Carr might be back. It might be Spencer Rattler. We're unsure yet. If it is a Spencer Rattler Bo Nix game, then that's a statement game for both of them. They're both on primetime. They're both rookies. They're both coming to make a name for himself. But for this reason, Bo Nix primetime game. Derek Carr and the Saints need to get back in the win column. There's something to prove on both sides, and this is a game to watch out for in Week 7. Now, my second game. This is going to be obvious as to why this is a huge game. The Lions, the Vikings in that 1 o'clock window. Obviously, these Vikings are 5-0, one of 2 teams up there in the column with the Chiefs that are undefeated, have not lost a game this season. And the Lions 4-1, coming off a decimation of the Cowboys. They went out there and beat them 47-9 in their home stadium. You go to Arlington, AT&T Stadium. You let everybody know. Jerry Jones, Mike McCarthy, everybody, that you are legit. 47-9. You lose Aiden Hutchinson to a gruesome leg injury in the process, but you are legit. You prove it to everybody. This offense is serious. This defense is stellar. You get stop after stop. Kirby Joseph, a guy that I love, had a great game. I don't know why he receives so much hate. I think he continues to be one of the better safeties in the league week after week, producing numbers. And your whole team was just showing up, producing numbers. And they've been doing it this season a lot. They're 4-1. Dropped 1 game. It probably shouldn't even have dropped. They should be 5-0 right now as well, topped upon the rankings with the Vikings and the Chiefs. This is a huge game. You're 5-0 Vikings, 4-1 Lions. Whoever wins this game sitting atop the NFC North, one of the toughest divisions in football. I know it's only week 7, but these games have implications. Going down the line for the playoffs, this game is going to have an implication. You're going to look at it, you're going to say, hey, who won this matchup early on in the season? Let's do some tiebreakers. If they finish tied up, whoever wins this game by a certain amount of points, the margin spread of this game, it has huge implications down the line for the NFC North, and this is one that both of these teams are going to come out and want to win. Both of these teams are going to come out and be competitive. There's an incentive on both sides for these teams. Lions, the incentive, go play for your guy Hutch. Go get it back. He just broke his leg, gruesome leg injury. Go play for him. Go put your heart on the line and go secure a big NFC North win in the process. For your Vikings, continue your streak. Continue your Sam Darnold statement season. Let them know where you are, who you are, what team you are, and continue to just ball out and ride all this momentum, ride the undefeated season for as long as you can. Obviously, we know the only ever undefeated team in the league, 72 Dolphins. Ever since then, people have been chasing this feat, trying to get right back at it. Been close a couple times with the Patriots back a couple years ago, 16-0, lost in the Super Bowl to Eli Manning. Then you had the Panthers, who went 15-1 in 2015. And now, your 2024 Vikings, your 2024 Chiefs. Who knows? But this is a huge game. Lions, Vikings, huge NFC North matchup with implications down the line. Both of which would like to get this one in the win column for sure. Third game, Seahawks, Falcons. Battle of the Birds with big NFC implications. Your Seahawks started off super hot out of the gate. 3-0 streaking. They weren't the prettiest wins, dropping 3 in a row. The most recent one being Thursday Night Football against the 49ers. So this is a team that's looking to get back in the win column. And then you're playing the Falcons, a team that has dropped a couple games they shouldn't have lost. Maybe the Chiefs on that Monday Night Football game. And they're looking pretty good in the NFC South in a tough division that has the Buccaneers and it has the Saints in it. This is a must-win game for both of these teams, for momentum-wise, for rankings-wise. I truly believe it's early in the year, but it's a tight race between AFC teams, between NFC teams, and this playoff is going to be scattered this season. There's no teams really that stand out from everyone else besides maybe the Vikings, maybe the Chiefs. Teams who honestly at this point in the season aren't even that much ahead of other teams. You got to keep playing. You got to play for all these implications. You got to play for playoffs. You got to play for everything. This Battle of the Birds is going to be a big NFC matchup heading down the line. And two old quarterbacks, Geno Smith, Kirk Cousins battling it out. You got to get this win. And this is a 1 o'clock game. It had to be a 1 o'clock game or else Geno Smith, Kirk Cousins would both be asleep by 9 o'clock at halftime. But this is a game, again, you just want to go out. Both sides are trying to make a statement. Both sides want to win. Both sides want to boost up their stock in the NFC. And this is the time to do it against a big NFC opponent. Two big NFC opponents that are both in the playoff picture, both in the playoff race, right in the front seat right now for the NFC. So it's a big game with implications, and you got to check that going down the line. Fourth game, Packers, Texans. Texans just went off and, obviously dropped off the Patriots in their home stadium. Drake May, his debut. We already talked so much about that. Don't need to get into that anymore. And then the Packers obviously coming off a W themselves. Jordan Love had a great game. CJ Stroud has just been impressing once again this season. The sophomore wall does not apply to him. Whole team was clicking for the Texans, and two very young rising teams sitting high respectively in their own conference standings. The Texans right now 5-1. Packers right now 4-2. Winning teams, very solid teams, very good teams. Obviously mentioned they're both very, very young, both very, very talented, both younger head coaches at the helm. And this is just a statement game for me. You have a team 4-1 in the AFC, 5-1 in the AFC, 4-2 in the NFC. Respected opponents, respected teams, and you're going head to head. If you walk away with a big win, if say the Texans come out and they win 31-10 against the Packers, or vice versa, Packers come out and they win 31-10 against the Texans, we're going to be saying, hold on, Texans are legit. They just knocked off an NFC contender in the Packers by 21 points in the Packers stadium. Or the flip side of that, the Packers just knocked off C.J. Stroud, Will Anderson, Tank Dell, Stephon Diggs, all of these guys by a lot in their home stadium, 31-10. This is a big game for bragging rights, implications, just however you want to see it going down the line. A non-conference matchup, but it's just a matchup of grit, a matchup of two big powerhouse teams on the rise, going banging into each other, seeing who can come out victorious. A lot of bragging rights to this game, a lot of just implications. I know implications has been a word used probably a million times in this segment, and I am sorry, truly, but that's the only way to put it. There is implications. Probably get drilled into your head by now, but there is. Packers, Texans, who wants to come out and win this? Who wants to make a statement, and who is going to do so? I got my money on the Texans, honestly. I think the Texans are going to come out here and they're going to play this game so close. It's going to be such a close game to the Packers. Young Jordan Love, young CJ Stroud, two ballers at quarterback, two absolute studs. Whoever wins this, bragging rights until they meet again. And I just believe it's going to be a good game down the line. Who wants to make a statement? Who's going to put their team on the map? That's a great game right there. And another great game, a battle of Ohio, Cincinnati, Cleveland, two AFC North teams that need a division win. Browns have been struggling out of the gate. The Bengals have been struggling out of the gate. They got a much-needed win against the Giants on Sunday Night Football to jump up to 2-4. Just two teams that need help. They need a jump start. They need something to get them going. And this game could be a jump start for either side. Browns win over a Bengals team that's riding a little bit of momentum. Or the Bengals win on a Browns team. They get to stuff their division opponent down in the rankings a little bit. There's just morale on both sides to be untapped. There's potential for a run to be untapped from a big win. There's just potential for bragging rights, for rankings in the AFC North. There's potential for all sides of the ball for anyone in this matchup. And whoever wants to come out and take it, whoever wants to come out and play a great game and just put their team on the map in the rankings, jump up to 3-4 if you're a Bengal, and then you can just make a run from there, or 3-4 if you're a Brown and you can make a run from there. It's all about jump start and momentum in this matchup for me. Two teams that are down a little bit in spirit, down a little bit in morale, and they can need a pick-me-up, and this pick-me-up could be a huge game. So that is the Bengals-Browns Battle of Ohio. Now, the sixth matchup I have, we talked about powerhouses with the Texans-Packers, a young powerhouse, rising powerhouse. This is the powerhouse matchup. Two very established powerhouses in the Chiefs and 49ers Super Bowl 58 rematch. There's nothing else to it than that. Two great football teams, two amazing young squads, amazing coaches, amazing schemes, amazing everything all around, and amazing entertainment. This game in the 4:25 window is going to feed families. The Chiefs looking to defend their crown against the Niners on a smaller stage. It's not the Super Bowl. It's a Week 7 regular season. And then the 49ers looking to get redemption, get it back in blood against the Chiefs for rightfully taking what was theirs last season in the Super Bowl 58 trophy. 49ers are going to come out hot. They're going to be angry. They're going to be hot. They're going to be ready to get this game back. Chiefs are going to come out and they're going to be a well-prepared, well-oiled machine with Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, all these guys at the helm. And they're going to come out. It's going to be a game of emotion, a game physical, scheming, fitting, classic, hard-nosed, fun, amazing football. We are going to get an instant classic. We're going to get back and forth game. We're going to get so many moments, so many plays, amazing plays. We're going to see some unique stuff in this matchup. We're going to see everything, all spectrums of football. This is where just amazing product comes. It's games like this. It's big teams. They've been performing so well already to start off this year. Chiefs coming off a bye, 5-0. Niners looking very, very good, respectful in the NFC West, sitting atop those rankings. It's going to be a very fun matchup to watch. They haven't had this season they've sort of wanted to start off. They're about 3-3, coming off a Thursday Night Football win. But this is one that both sides are going to want to take. You're going to have so many rights, so many bragging rights, so much everything coming out of this. And both teams are going to be back and forth. Make sure you tune in to 49ers Chiefs. The best game of Week 7 by far. Tune in. Don't miss it. That is the sixth game I have listed down, and it's going to be the best one by a long shot. Now, this seventh game is also going to be a very, very good game. Probably going to be my second favorite game in this, and that's Monday Night Football. We have a doubleheader, but this is the first game, the 7:30 game of that doubleheader. It is the Ravens, and it is the Buccaneers. The Ravens, very respected AFC matchup opponent. 5-1, I believe, sitting at the top of the AFC North, sitting at near the top of the AFC. If it wasn't for the Chiefs, if it wasn't for the Texans. And then you have the Buccaneers, a team. Baker Mayfield re-signed 3 years, $100 million this offseason, and he has been rolled through the Falcons Thursday Night Football, rolled through the Saints, who have been coming out and being dominant the first 2 weeks of the season. The Buccaneers are serious. They're legit in the NFC South. The NFC South. I blanked for that in a second, but I got it. Don't worry. I got it. In the NFC South. Baker Mayfield and these guys, they've been coming out playing great football. I mean, Todd Boyles has had them coached up super, super well. They're just a super well football team facing against another super good football team. I don't know why I said super well. A super good football team in the Baltimore Ravens. It's another situation like the Packers-Texans. It's a non-conference matchup between two very good conference teams looking to make a statement against each other's. The Ravens come out. They get a big win against the Buccaneers, against this Baker Mayfield squad. You say, hey, this is a good resume booster for my playoffs, for everything, just for an overall look of our organization. Vice versa. Same thing for the Buccaneers. Hey, we knocked off Lamar Jackson and the Ravens. This is a very good look for our organization, a very good look for everything. We are legit as well. This is just one you can take. You can have momentum, bragging rights, morale, everything come out of this game. I feel like both quarterbacks are going to come out and they're going to put on a show. And this is going to be a Monday night primetime great game. Do not want to miss that in the doubleheader. So I believe that you need to look out for the Ravens Buccaneers as well. Going to be a very great game, very interesting with quarterback play, everything, a lot of storylines. Mike Evans, great wide receiver one. Zay Flowers, who's been very wishy-washy so far in his NFL stint. I believe he'll come out and have a great game as well. He's coming off a huge performance, like 150 yards. Just insane stuff there for the Ravens last week. And Zay Flowers in that big game over the Commanders, just squeaking by Jaden Daniels. So this is going to be a huge game for both of these guys. Non-conference, they're both going to want to take this one out. They're both going to want to come out here, clash heads, and get the win. So those are 7 games that you need to see this NFL season, this NFL week, my apologies. NFL week 7, week 6 put on a show. Week 6 was amazing. Week 7 is going to be, in my books, even better, just as good, even better. So much great quarterback play, so many great matchups. Watch out for week 7 of the NFL season and make sure you tune into all 7 of those games. They're going to be very, very interesting, very packed, a lot of storylines, a lot of competition, a lot of close games, and a lot of great football, which is why we're here. So do not miss NFL Week 7. That is the NFL recap and preview segment.